Thank you for having me here today. My name is Tosin Gbogi. I'm a poet and a scholar. Today I will be reading from my second collection of poetry, Locomotives and Other Songs. And this collection of poetry, it's about journey. So journey is the organizing principle around which all of the poems, or most of the poems in the book, sort of unfold. I will read from the first movement of the book, and in this first movement of the book, they're about what I organize them around stations, like Stations of the Cross, which is a very Catholic thing. I will read from the second station, and then I will take some other stations from the first movement of the book, and then I will go to other sections and read two other poems or three other poems from there. I start with the second station. Second station. Love bears its cross thoughtlessly. All true love is rational but irrational. All true love is thoughtful but thoughtless. All true love is bodily but bodiless. All true love does not begin, does not end. All true love does not end and then begin. All true love ends, begins, ends, begins, begins, ends, begins. All true love does not end and not begin, or begin and not end. All true love is frigid but fragile. All true love is colorless but colorful. All true love is inviolate but volatile. All true love is violet but velvety. All true love is a miracle or mirage. Some things are like that. When a nation stuffs between your legs a cunning island of pains, gambling, such a nation gambles with your love. Alluvial alliterations of sonorant moans are like that. Too facial not to be fake.
Hello, I'm Muiz Opeyemi. Welcome to another edition of the Poems I Love. So I'll be reading 4 poems, starting with Enoch Elam's, a poem from Enoch Elam's The Actual. So it is titled Shakespeare. And another thing, the grace you brought Othello, how you forged that more, got him talking down his eloquence, as if his tongue wasn't part swan feather, part molasses, how you wrote a church of darkness, steepled by Iago, and all Othello, its soul, beacon of honor and light. Bro, that shit literary fire, race theory brimstone, middle passage gold. But how you played Caliban, his tongue as Othello's, and just as wronged, how you imbibed him with, emblemed him of colonized peoples, got me all riled up, imagining my ancestors' vengeance, a rough blade thrust through Prospero's proud heart. But you didn't. Play hands, Kali still enslaved. Bro, that.
Good day, everyone. My name is Sodiq Oyekanmi, and I'll be reading the poems I love. Today, I'll be reading 3 poems. The first one, which I'll start now, is by Emeka Patrick, published on the Waxwing Literary Journal, entitled Prelude to Survival. Prelude to Survival. I am in a darkness in my life where leaves floating down a tree could mean a disaster rather than a descent. Lord, I should break the bread and hold the chalice to the walls, forge a communion of everything that's tried to kill me. I should skip the ropes and pretend my body leaping off the earth is therapy, or wait at the foot of the cherry tree, pretend the blades of grass waving in the garden are ghosts of someone who loved me before I was born, was named a promise, altar erected in place of affection. But what now is this oil spilled on the mirror? A drowning where a face should be. My image in the mirror's lung, almost a facade. I wrote happiness in every diary and went back to find a decayed tooth in its place. Inked page smeared by the blood of something that wasn't born, but imagined. Once, I slipped into my grandma's room to be sure she was still there. On the wall, a shadow, its movement a memento. Some days, I am so theater, grief audiences in me. Every who's and has rusted pins dipped into a balloon. Thus, I become a fall, rings of the ruined. I can't tell what year it is in my darkness, my blood whistling like a whiz. But I can feel the flowers unfolding, dawn rising to meet dread, where if my body ascends, it must be a prelude to a magic.
Hello friends, my name is Emeka, and welcome to another episode of The Poems I Love. I will read a few poems that have resonated with me for the past few weeks, and I would share a little bit about myself. I am currently, having a bit of a health challenge, and I think that for people who have chronic illnesses or who need to have like very serious surgeries, there is a lot of fear that only kindness can dispel. And I'm grateful for some of my friends and I'm grateful for my family because they remind me that I am loved, that there's kindness in the world, and I'm grateful for even strangers too. There are people who have helped me and I do not know them. So I just want to say this is a tribute. This is, me saying thank you for your kindness, thank you for your love. And I'll read some of these poems that discuss kindness and I hope you like them. My first poem is by Danusha Lammers. It's titled Small Kindnesses. But before I begin, I would like to share a little bit about this poem. I have a friend, a doctor friend, who likes this poem a lot, and she'll probably see this. This poem is a poem that I would like to introduce to anybody who loves poetry and who is sensitive to the needs of others. It is a very beautiful poem, very short, very beautiful. Small Kindnesses by Danusha Lammers. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by, or how strangers still say, bless you, when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, they are all saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone would help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to harm each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now. So far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead. You first. I like your heart.
I am Nwachukwu Egbunike, author of Incantations, and I'm going to read 4 poems from this collection for this edition of the Poems I Love. The first is Ufie. The jar tones in 17 voices pierce, souls in 7 abominations, with flinging verses far off the coast. Ikpere rousing responses fights through the haze, howls of flinching forests, nods of brazen hills. The passage was deft, fear comes to die, life gazes forth. Drums resound in concerting rhythms. Nweze, Ana. The surfing crew in haste reluctantly paves through the crowd, rowing the canoe across turmoil. The steering is possessed, flying forth and fumes, the calm calm of the sea. Duality is rest, unity of one, fullness of one. Ufie resounds again with haste, strings of flashes in an instant. The journey just began.
Hi, my name is Oko Owi Ocho Africa. Government name Ocho. I'm a poet, an essayist and researcher, and a performer, the founder of Benue Poetry Troupe and Abuja Poetry Troupe. So 3 poems I like. I'll begin with Wole Soyinka's Abiku. In vain your bangles cast, charmed cycles at my feet. I am Abiku, calling for the first and the repeated time. Must I wait for goats and cowries, for palm oil and the sprinkled ash? Yams do not sprout in arm length to eat Abiku's limbs. So when the snail is burnt in his shell, wet the heated fragment, brand me deeply on the breast. You must know him when Abiku calls again. I am the squirrel teeth, cracked the riddle of the palm. Remember these, and dig me deeper still into the god-swollen foot. Once and the repeated time, ageless, though I puke, and when you pour libation, each finger points me nearer the way I came. Where? The ground is wet with morning. Why do circus flesh birds? Evening befriends the spider, trapping flies in wind froth. Night, and Abiku sucks the oil from the lamps. Mother, I will be the suppliant snake, coiled on the doorstep. Yours, the killing cry. The ripest fruit was saddest. Where I crept, the warmth was clawing. In the silence of webs, Abiku moms, shaping mounds from the yoke.
Hello, good afternoon. Eyitomilope Akingbenle is my name, and today I'll be reading to you my favorite poems. The first on my list is Just a Passerby by Oswald Shirley, and it goes thus. I saw them clobbering with tears. I heard him scream with pain, like a victim of slaughter. I smelled fresh blood gush from his nostrils and flow on the street. I walked into the church and knelt in the pew. Lord, I love you. I also love my neighbor. Amen. I came out, my heart as light as an angel's kiss, on the cheek of a saintly soul. Back home, I strutted, past a crowd of onlookers. Then she came in, my woman neighbor. Have you heard? They have killed your brother. Oh no, I heard nothing. I have been to church.
Hi, my name is Babatunde Odubanwo. I'm a corporate communications personnel, and of course, I'm also a poet. Largely, I started my journey into the creative space, writing poetry many years back, and ever since then, I've never turned back. Of course, I ventured also into another aspect of the creative endeavors, and we're here standing. And so I'm here on this show to talk about some of the poems that have actually inspired me over the years. Some, maybe one out of them, written by me. Of course, I've also actually been inspired by some very brilliant poets. You know, some I've lived before I was born, and some I've just enjoyed the work. And of course, today I'm going to be sharing some of them with you on this show. I actually have varied areas of actually showing my expression of love for poetry, and of course we are talking about the season of love, Valentine's season. I'm going to be focusing on love, you know, at this time, and of course I would love you guys to come and enjoy poetry with me as I share this. And so the first poem, you know, that I'll be sharing with you today is titled "Touched by an Angel" by Maya Angelou. touched by an angel, by an angel. We, accustomed by courage, exiles from delights, lived coiled in shells of loneliness, until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train comes ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. The flesh of love's light, we dare brave, and suddenly we see that love cost all we have and we ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free.
Good day. My name is Sotanmide Oluwatobi Moses, and today I'll be reading from my collection of poems, We Shall All Laugh and Swear. That's the title of my book of poetry, We Shall All Laugh and Swear. And I will be reading from the first part, Rupture. And from Rupture, I'll be reading Babel. The title of the poem is Babel. Rupture says, if the world under you tremors, find a refuge beneath it. Let me take that again. If the world under you tremors, find a refuge beneath it. It's a contradiction, and I know, but that's exactly what Babel means. It means confusion. I read, now, so much has been heard that the ear cannot tell. Now, so much has been seen that the eye cannot hear. Now, so much has been said that the mouth cannot see. Now, let us say we are here, right now, there, in this very place, whirling, hoping to learn.
Hello, my name is Enoch Ojotisa. You're welcome to this episode of the Poems I Love. I will be reading from the new collection of poems of Servio Gbadamosi titled Entropy. And the first poem I'll be reading is I Return to You. It's on page 3 of the book. I return to you, Okibo. I return to you, Mother Idoto. When nightfall reawakens my guilt, and the pottery smell of past years return in spite of the fragrance of the new. I return to you for the ritual bath, for another attempt at cleansing the cambold of guilt, this chameleon feces, the Niger scrubbed into my broken body. The funeral songs we buried our dead with would not stop playing in our heads and hearts long after we had given our love to the earth. We look at the new year with old eyes, pouring new wine into an old wine skin without oiling it, without beating it, supple. We mourn the ones we've lost. We make no room for the new, as if dying were a self-sufficient arts. I return to you. Utamse, I spit in the Congo's offspring, causing the night, Lugard, and the witch consummated this union, sealing our tongues in a grammar of loss. I return to you, Utamse, what else do I have to lose? The Niger has taken my father and my mother. Is it too old to scrub the sadness off my tongue? My guilt is longer than the Niger, which is also the source of my sorrows. It is a guilt I inherited from doing things I do not know, for the things I know have reduced me to nothing. A eunuch shivering in prayer on his wedding nights.